Hey YouTube, how you doing tonight? It's my night to make dinner, and we're going to make meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and nuke off some vegetables. Let's get into it. Turn your oven to 350. Okay, I got all my ingredients laid out for the meatloaf, and it's a very easy recipe. As you can see, I've only got 4 ingredients. Technically 5, there's 2 ingredients in here. I got 2 pounds of ground hamburger, ground chuck, sirloin, whatever kind of ground meat you want to use. 1 packet of onion soup mix. Again, don't care what brand. 3/4 of a cup of bread crumbs. Again, don't care what brand. You can even get, these are plain. Do garlic and herb, do Italian seasonings, anything like that, and that will increase your flavors quite a bit. 1 egg, lightly beaten with just a small splash of milk. If I'd have to say, maybe close to a teaspoon of milk. Okay, so this couldn't get any easier. Don your level 20 gauntlets. Sorry for the D&D speak. We've been learning to play with my son Tim as our DM. So yeah, at the age of 47, coming up on 48 here in the next 6 months. And I'm starting to geek out and I'm playing D&D. Alright, we're just going to throw everything in the bowl. Onion soup mix, breadcrumbs, egg with milk, and we're just going to knead it in. Okay, I've got one of those handy-duty meatloaf pans. Has a second tray, so it makes taking the meatloaf out a lot easier. And I'm just going to kind of form this into a bit of a shape. And then just throw it in the pan. Okay, meatloaf goes in, uncovered, for about an hour and a half. For an hour. And a half. Okay, we're coming up on the last 10 minutes or so of the cook time on the meatloaf, so I want to start making my mashed potatoes now. Like I said, I don't have actual potatoes to boil and mash and all that stuff. I'm just using stuff out of a box. It's like 2 cups of water, 2 cups of the potato flakes, a cup of milk, some salt, and like 3 tablespoons of butter. Now, my secret on making the mashed potatoes is I double the butter. So instead of 3, I'm using 6 tablespoons. And then I also use a garlic salt just to add a little bit more flavor. So that's usually my changes that I make to an instant mashed potato. All right, let's get going on that. Okay, I'm going to turn my range on to high and get my water heating up. Let me show you what I got going on here. Now to the water, I'm going to add my milk, my butter, and the garlic salt. And roughly almost close to a tablespoon. Then I got my 2 cups of potatoes just standing by, getting ready to use. And I just use a fork to do this. What you're going to do is you're just going to bring all this up to a boil, and as soon as it starts boiling, you got to cut your heat, otherwise it boils over. And then as soon as you do that, as soon as it comes to the boil, you cut it, you take your potatoes, you dump it in. In the meantime, I've got some green beans and carrots, just frozen bag stuff, tablespoon of butter, and I usually leave the salt and pepper off until it comes out of the microwave and people can just salt and pepper their own. I know that the vegetables are going to take about 10 minutes in the microwave, and I also need to have my meatloaf rest for about 10 minutes, just kind of tighten back up together and stuff so you don't get all of the juices flowing out everywhere. So as soon as the meatloaf comes out of the oven, I'm going to start up the cook time on the vegetables in the microwave. Yep, just like that. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, but anyway, going to add my potato flakes now and just get those stirred in. There we go. Alright, I can just set that off to the side, put a lid on it, and it'll still be hot when the meatloaf is done. Okay, meatloaf is done. I'm just going to let this sit on the counter for 10 minutes just to get the juices and the meat to relax and chill out and stuff like that. Give it a little rest time. But now I can start up the microwave, and the potatoes are already done. Alright, got my vegetables in there, got a little bit of butter in there. Let's close it up, we'll send it for 10 minutes. I think right around the halfway point we'll stir it up a little bit, kind of spread everything around differently so the heat hits different areas and stuff. That way get things that are half frozen in one spot and stuff that's overcooked in another. Okay, been about 5 minutes. I'm going to quickly take it out. Just give it a little stir. Stick it back in and restart it. Then we'll just let it finish off that 10 minutes, okay? Alright, here are the vegetables. Again, give them another little stir. Alright, now that the meat is rested long enough, I'm going to take that out and start slicing it up. Okay. I typically like using tongs just to hold the meat as I'm cutting it. And I like nice thick slices too. Okay, time to dish up. What do you guys think of that? That is a good meal right there. This smells really good. Typically I would use like a ketchup as a condiment on top of my meatloaf, but we were actually out of ketchup, believe it or not. But I had some bottled barbecue sauce, so I put that over the top. That's really good. You know what? I just saw something. I might try to take a meatloaf recipe and smoke it at some point. A smoked meatloaf. I think that'd be pretty good. My potatoes are just a little bit stiff because a lot of liquid boiled up over the pot, but they're still really good. And I don't have to put any extra butter on it because I doubled the butter in the recipe, and it makes it so much better. And the vegetables are good too. There's a little bit of butter on them. I didn't put any salt and pepper on mine. Alright, well, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the road.